Okay, I'll try and explain this to you. Let me get this out of the way. Just a theory I have about what our reality is. Get that out of the way. Okay, so you have two sides of a record. For those of you that are old enough to remember what a record is, you had two sides, an A side and a B side. I don't know why this picture, but it's interesting colors, right? Purple and yellow, pink and yellow. Okay, so on a record, just make this bigger, just fill it in. This is how music used to work before they came out with CDs. Alright, so why the fuck they just didn't show the whole record? Anyway, if you look, there's grooves here. Might not be able to see them, but there's grooves there. And then there's a bunch of little grooves in between all of those grooves. Hence, that stupid saying from the 70s, you groove thing. Think about the big craze in the late 70s called disco. It's Studio 54. So you got the disc, which is Saturn, and you got Studio 54, which is 9. None of this is by chance. This stuff's all thought out. All the debauchery and shit that went on there. Okay, so here's a record. Every record has an A side, and on the other side, or the flip side, have you ever heard people say, I'll catch you on the flip side, is the B side. No, the B. The B. Okay? So, all record players had an arm on them that looked kind of, let me use this. It had an arm. It had an arm, and then right in here was a needle. Just as you're looking down on the record. Okay, and so this was the pivot point, and this would move across until it got the end of the record, and it would just sit here and go round and round and round. But there was a mechanism that would pick this thing up and bring it all the way back to the beginning. Okay, so if you look real close, you can see all of these grooves. They make a sound or a tone. Okay, so the record would spin, if I remember correctly, and I think I have this actually upside down. Let's see if I can rotate this. Okay, it's back in its original position. So in order for me to get what I need, I have to go like this. And now I can rotate it. Rotate it to the right. Won't work. Well, anyway, all right. So anyway, I got the needle backward. No, actually, I don't. No, I don't. So the record would spin. The record would spin. If I remember correctly, God, it's been so long. I'm pretty sure it spun counterclockwise. So as this thing spun, the grooves would pull it inward. If you were to put this on, it would play. This would be a, oh, by the way, this big album, it's called an album. This record would be a 33. It would be a 33 RPM. Okay, 33. The smaller ones that were about this big were a 45. Interesting, huh? And then the real small ones were a 72. Interesting that all of those add up to 9. Anyhow, so if this was a record, and this was reality, and this was a tune that was creating our reality, this side would play the song. However, if you're on the flip side, imagine this is flipped, and there's another arm on the other side. Well, this thing is playing the music correctly, but on the underside, if you were playing, if this needle was upside down, this record would be playing backwards on the B side or the flip side. And so here you would have music, but on the back side it would be nothing but chaos and words and everything else backwards and crazy sounding. That's what I think the difference is, and I think that's what this whole Saturnian thing is. It's a big ass record. Those rings of Saturn create tones, and it plays just like a record. But there's two sides to that. There's an A side and a B side, and we're not, obviously something's not right, because as this goes round and round, it's supposed to make music, but on the other side, because this record is spinning this way and this way, right? So it's spinning this way. That would be the correct way. On the reverse side, the record would be playing backwards. It doesn't mean that time would be going backwards. It just means that everything is a complete opposite, and it would sound like shit. And that's pretty much where we're at. That's pretty much where we're at. I'll show you something. Hang on. This thing here is called the Golden Record. It's what they sent into space on the first Voyager mission. Interesting that it's called the Golden Record. And it's all about binary, and here's your I am. And you can go read about it yourself. But it's very interesting that they call this the Golden Record. You know, when musicians hit a certain amount of sales, they get a gold record and then a platinum record. You can go read about this. This is what I'm saying. Saturn is like this record, and it's playing its song. One way is the right way. The other way, this thing is spinning. If there was a needle exactly on the other side, the record would be playing backwards on the B side or the flip side. What do you think they say? I'll catch you on the flip side. Or you know, I mean, it's groovy, or Studio 54, or disco. It's all in reference to this. All of this shit is all tied up, and I know I'm right about this stuff. It's just very hard to put into words in the correct context. There's only one story here. I don't give a fuck how much they slice and dice it and try and throw in mystical, magical, fucking look inside yourself. This is the reality of it. It's the reality of it. It's you know, it's a broken fucking record. It's skipping. If you don't know what that means, the needle on these things was made out of a diamond. If you pushed it across the record, it would cut a groove going sideways, and the needle would bounce, and therefore the song was choppy, and it wasn't in order, and sometimes it would just get stuck repeating the same thing over and over again. That's the reality of what's going on here, I think.